going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Today's video is really special for a couple of reasons. Today we're talking about black business owners, we're talking about the footwear industry, we're talking about beautiful stories that happen in sneakers, and we're talking about people who still do good things for other people in the community. All of that is wrapped up in the sneaker that we're talking about today. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Adidas ZX 5000 by Deadstock Coffee. A phenomenal sneaker by a phenomenal entrepreneur with a phenomenal story. The first place that I'll begin with these, though, is actually with a thank you. A thank you to my guy Stephen Green up in Oregon for gifting me these sneakers here. Only 150 pairs of this sneaker made, and one of these somehow made it into my hands because of people like Stephen. Man, look, I appreciate that on camera in front of all these people. Thank you, man. This is one of the best gifts that I've gotten in sneakers so far, and it will be cherished, my brother. Let's dive into the shoe. We're gonna do things a little bit differently today because normally I show you guys the sneaker first and then we get into kind of the history and the inspiration. But today I'm gonna actually talk to you guys about the inspiration first because I feel like it's really gonna help you understand the sneaker that much more. Today we're talking about Ian Williams. He is the owner of the very popular Deadstock Coffee that's up in Oregon in the Chinatown area. As a matter of fact, this shirt that I'm wearing is actually from Deadstock Coffee as well. If you're not familiar with Ian's story, he actually moved to Oregon when he was young and ended up working at Nike, at first in a retail store. Unfortunately, even though things didn't work out at the retail store, he still wanted to stay within the ecosystem of Nike, so he ended up getting a job at the facility in Oregon where they actually produce the airbags for the air technology in a lot of Nike products. Ian was a visionary though. He was a hard worker and he wanted to find a way to work on the campus. He wanted to find a way to get back into the big building, and he did it by taking a job as a janitor. Now, I don't know about you guys, but honestly, in some of the jobs that I've worked at, some of the coolest people that I ever knew at those jobs were the custodians, they were the janitors. They were the people that you saw all the time. You saw them every day. Sometimes they came at the end of the day, so by the time you saw them, you knew that your day was ending, so you kind of let your hair down a little bit. They were cool people, and Ian was no exception to that. He talked about how he was well liked through a lot of people that were around the building. And not only that, but he actually tried to get in trouble because every time he got in trouble, he would be moved to another department so he could meet a whole new group of people. So he was busy finding ways to network and infiltrate different areas of Nike while still being a custodian. And one day he found himself in the Nike SB department. He mentioned he had been working for about a year's time, and one day he was cleaning up and literally just asked the guys, "Hey, you guys should let me design a sneaker one day." And their response, "Okay, go for it." So from there, Ian designed a 3-pack known as the Janitor Pack, 3 different Nike SB dunks that each had its own interesting story that correlated with his life as a janitor. There was one called the Windex dunk that I would have loved to see. He said it had an icy sole on it. It looked like a Windex bottle. There was another SB that was kind of designed after carpet and a vacuum cleaner. And then the third SB was one called the Wet Floor Sign. True to its name, it was yellow with a little bit of black and a little bit of red, and it looked like the wet floor signs that we see on a freshly mopped floor. That design the SB team actually liked so much that they decided to put it into production. And just like that, a janitor at Nike found himself with his own collaboration, his own pair of SB dunks. The wet floor sign dunk has been one of those ones that as time has gone on, it's been more of a collector's item, more of a if you know type of shoe, but it's still one that I'm trying to get my hands on personally. Even though the sneaker was super dope, Ian found himself eventually leaving Nike to embark on his own journey, which was coffee. Now, admittedly, Ian said that he wasn't super into coffee, but he thought about creating a meeting place where people from all the different brands in the area could all congregate and come together to network with one another. And what better way to bring people together than over coffee? He decided to name it Deadstock Coffee, and it started literally as a tiny little space like upstairs in a shop somewhere, but he ended up growing it. He grew the brand as he grew his relationships with other stores in the area, places like Index, if you're familiar with that place. Surprisingly, he actually found himself really enjoying coffee and really enjoying the process of making coffee and the reception that he would get from people. And not only that, he found himself getting a lot of those same connections without having to be a janitor that he was trying to get when he was at Nike, except this time he was making those connections with different people at different brands. Brands like Adidas. Eventually, Adidas would approach him with the opportunity to make his own sneaker, and that's what we're seeing today, an ode to Deadstock Coffee and Ian Williams collaboration. Let's dive in. Now, at first glance, the packaging doesn't really look like much, but when you open up the packaging, the first thing that you see here is this burlap sack here, co-branded with the Deadstock Coffee logo and the Adidas logo. And this is like a real deal burlap sack here that you could really put some coffee beans in, but this actually is called a jute bag in the coffee world. This is a bag that actually is derived from the jute plant. Burlap, for that matter, is derived from the plant. It's cheap, it's breathable, and it does very well with holding coffee beans. Now again, thanks to my guy Steven, not only did I get the shoe, but he also gave me some pins from Deadstock Coffee as well. Again, the shirt from Deadstock Coffee, so I got totally laced up. The only thing I need to do now is get out to Oregon and see this place with my own eyes. Now that brings us to the ZX5000. Let's get into the shoe itself. The first thing you're gonna notice in the quarter panels here, wrapping around to the heel of the shoe, is that same kind of material. It's that jute bag, that burlap sack material, looking exactly like the coffee bean bag. Painted 3 stripes in the middle of the quarter panels as well. Very nice touch. With a really soft nubuck going down the eyelets of the shoe on the mudguards and around the toe box. And I mean like really nice material. Now that's also offset right above the midsole here with a nappy suede as well. So nubuck suede with this really dope burlap material, this canvas-like material as well. Very, very nice. Moving down to the midsole, I thought this was a dope touch here. This splattered midsole actually is made to mimic coffee splattering on a counter. If you're making coffee, chances are you've spilled it a time or two, and that's what this is made to represent, those droplets of coffee spilling on the counter. Taking a top-down look at the shoe here, you see more of that jute bag material in the toe box of the shoe. Kind of feels like a nylon mesh material, but kind of made to mimic that as well. Moving up from there, you see the Dubray that's in this greenish color that says Deadstock Coffee, which of course you also see the Deadstock Coffee logo on the tongue tag as well. Now, here's a cool thing about the tongue as well. If you notice, it says PDX 16, which if you guys know, PDX is actually for Portland, Oregon. It's the airport code, the city code. 16 being 2016, the year that Deadstock Coffee was debuted. And on the other side, you see this SXB 89. From what I understand, SXB is also another airport code for an airport, I believe, over in France, that apparently one of the people that was working on the sneaker with Ian wanted to put that touch on the shoe as well. So it's kind of like an ode to that. And on the back of the tongue tag, it says coffee should be dope, which is Deadstock Coffee's tagline. That's also what it says on the back of this shirt too. It's really dope. Moving around to the heel of the shoe, you get the Deadstock Coffee logo once again on the heel with this interesting pull tab that in my opinion reminds me of the pull strings on the burlap sack or the jute bag as well. Now what in the world is up with all the green on the shoe? Not only is the green on the heel of the shoe, but it's also on the extra shoelaces as well. You get green extra shoelaces with these. Well, I'm glad that you asked. The green is made to represent what's known as Grain Pro bags. Now, those bags are actually bags that go inside of the jute bags that people put the coffee beans into that keep the beans dry and fresh, which is why on the inside of the sneaker, it's also green, made to look like the Grain Pro bag inside of the jute bag. I mean, if that's not thoughtful as far as sneaker design, I don't really know what is. This sneaker tells a story that I've seen a lot of other sneaker collaborations not even come close to. On the outsole of the shoe, you get a little more of that green on the heel of the shoe as well. Otherwise, regular ZX5000 outsole with the torsion system. On the insole of the shoe, on the heel here, you'll notice it's also green with the Adidas Deadstock Coffee co-branding. And this is actually kind of a leather feeling heel on the insole, which is really dope. And last but not least, you guys see these are individually numbered on top of that, my pair being number 110 out of 150. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Deadstock Coffee and Adidas ZX5000. Listen, guys, this sneaker checks all the boxes for an incredible collaboration. Thoughtfulness, storytelling, inspiration, individually numbered, extra laces, it goes on and on and on. This is why sneakers are special. This is why sneakers still mean something out here, and this is why stories still matter. Here you have someone that started as a janitor at Nike and already had an endearing story about the sneaker that he was able to come up with at Nike, then able to be approached by Adidas, someone that was trying so hard to get into the industry that he was willing to take a job mopping floors, being approached with his own collaboration from Adidas, which is crazy that Adidas gave him his first shoe instead of Nike, but that's another story for another day, and was able to get an official collaboration with his business. It just blows my mind how incredible this story is and how inspiring and motivational the story of Ian Williams is. Wishing him all the best from down here in Alabama, hoping that one day I will definitely get the chance to meet him. I look forward to meeting you one day, Ian, if you see this video. And listen, I'm gonna need my pair autographed, man. These are special. I'm also trying to get a pair of the wet floor dunks. So if anybody has a size 9 out there, hit my line, let me know. I don't even want to wear these. They're that special. These are really, really dope. But I will, because the homie blessed me with them and he blessed me with these shoes to rock these sneakers. And so I will do that proudly. Steven, thank you once again for blessing me with these shoes. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you guys think of the Deadstock Coffee Adidas ZX 5000. Are these ones that if you were able to get your hands on, you would try to get your hands on? What do you guys think about the storytelling behind the sneaker? Are you guys coffee drinkers? All that good stuff. Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. Let these sneakers be a reminder to all of you guys that want to be in sneakers, work in sneakers, design sneakers one day. It doesn't matter where you start. It only matters where you finish. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Deadstock Coffee in Adidas ZX 5000 by Ian Williams. And until next time, I'm out.